Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Adventures in Arcane Space. Once again, I'm your Dungeon Master, AuldDragon, and the players are...
Hi, my name's David Big Mac Shepherd, and I play Braxon Miacc, who's a human fighter from an asteroid near Bral.
Hi everyone, I'm Dakami-sama, and I play Solas of Ebha, who is Half-Elven Cleric Mage of Ogma.
Hey, I'm James. I play Ockar, human paladin from Bral.
Hello, everyone. I'm Zaylan Moda. I play Finnel'ar Mohani, a druid from Grayspace.
Hey there, I'm Zakad. I play Lafdul Moonglade, an elven specialty priest of Ervan, Elysir. He's from Realm Space. Occasionally he steals stuff as part of being a multi-class. And his gimmick is coming out with fun titles every week, so his current title is the Prudently Prying Pastor. Past. That's not a word we use too often.
Oh, Pastor?
So I was just trying... Yeah, I was trying to look for a priestly description on the ending of my titles.
Now you have to do
Wasn't the
something with
best.
V so you can use Vicar.
V isn't so bad, actually. I haven't done many V ones.
Yeah,
I
see?
don't think
See?
I'll have to check.
Yeah, see? Alright,
Master
so
is pretty common
for...
work here.
And thank you very much for those bits for Lafdul's title, Anghammarand. I do appreciate that Anghammarand pays me for these titles that you create. That's I really like this dynamic.
He's donating those bits to Lafdul's deity.
Yes, you should all treat me like a god. This is accurate. You should definitely treat me like
I
a
was a
god.
priest of...
Well,
what was
no,
it?
you're only allowed to spend those bits on things that Lafdul's deity does.
I think you should just all worship me as a god. For viewers who want to give the players some advantages during gameplay, 500 bits will get them a reroll. And currently, Braxon has 2, Finn has 0, Ockar has 1, Lafdul has 1, Leva has 3, but she is out today. Solas has 4. I, the Dungeon Master, have a measly, pathetic little 11. So we left off last time. The party is on the Rock of Bral. They are facing a lawsuit. A merchant is blaming them for much of his misfortune, and has decided to sue them. And Anghammarand has given a reroll to Finn. Need to reload the cannon.
Thank you very much, Anghammarand.
So, the players are currently trying to investigate the charges that he is leveling against them in the lawsuit, or the claims against them, I should say, while also trying to gather up some people who can testify on their behalf.
We're also looking into the idea that he might be charmed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Define
I
this
mean,
third
we've
party.
confirmed that he is charmed.
Yeah. There's something going on.
It was just generic charm magic, right? And we couldn't get anything more specific than that.
No, I mean it's enchantment charm, charm sphere. Since you were the one that cast detect. No, you did detect charm. That's right.
Thing.
Detect charm doesn't tell you the specific spell, but it will tell you the type of charm. So,
I think you said that it's similar to the kind of vampire's charm, but you also said that it's not going to be vampire.
Right, I was using that as an example because, because it doesn't differentiate too much, but you're talking about like charm person, charm monster, vampire's charm. All of those would detect the exact same. So anything like that would detect the same. Domination would appear different. Suggestion would appear different. That kind of thing. So there's different categories that you get, and it only identifies the category. So it could be charm person, it could be charm monster, it could be a vampire's charm, but of course I did say that it's not a vampire because I'm not gonna have you face undead right now. So,
but there are monsters with similar charm abilities, I think.
Yeah, it could be devils, demons, who knows?
Right. The point was that it's charm, as opposed to domination or suggestion or geas or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that monster we met on the asteroid where my sister was on, because we took action against the people that kidnapped the dwarf.
She was unhappy though.
Before then. Yes, she was unhappy, but this stuff started happening before then. So this is an enemy we've had before.
So, just to be clear, don't get too hung up on it being like a monster's spell-like effect kind of thing. It could be that, but it could also be a charm monster spell, or a charm person spell, or a charm person or mammal spell. Like, all of those would detect the exact same.
And as I've said, it very well could be, for example, just a criminal organization behind the kidnapping and some other nefarious business in here that we've disrupted before.
It could be, yeah.
So they would have most likely resources to do that kind of thing if they and potentially be looking for a payout from a lawsuit like this.
Yeah. So
One thing I'm curious about is if we could make a formal request at the hearing in case we suspect a charm to get a unaffiliated mage to come and confirm it and deal with the spell.
Yeah, that was one of our options. That's if we don't dispel it ourselves. I think we agreed that we probably shouldn't try to dispel it.
You might want to consult our lawyer about that.
Well, that's something I'm going to go consult. That's something I plan to consult a lawyer about.
There's a whole. How did you come by this information without snooping around him?
That's why consulting our lawyer instead of just bringing it up on the court.
Yeah, no, consulting the lawyer is a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we went into the Underbrow, we thought there was something like an illicit down there. Well, then I thought we were wrong, but maybe we weren't wrong. Maybe when that entrance into the Underdark got blocked off, it spoilt somebody's fun.
Hey, Old.
Mm-hmm.
Do I impose the Constitution modifier for my memory read if I fail to get the spell off on the person? The spell creates a mental drain.
You mean if they make their saving throw?
Yeah, I think I still get the effect. Yeah.
Like it's part of casting the spell, not of having it be successful, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I think I had to do like 4 hours rest in like the Elven somewhere because I used the blanket to try and speed it up a bit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be somewhere in the Elven forest, either resting or talking to elves who
meditating.
Need a priest of Aravat because there's never one around.
You're gonna go out there and you're gonna meditate underneath a very pretty tree.
Well, I did make notes of what you guys were planning to do as of last session.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not set in stone. If any of you thought of something,
if I said what I was doing last session or not.
You said that you were thinking it over.
Oh, then I'm gonna go talk to the lawyer about my thought.
Yeah,
I do remember what I planned.
Oh, because I obviously didn't get the information, are we just going to have to pay the lawyer out for the charges against us then?
What do you mean?
Because obviously, no, I'm mentioning this to the party. Because obviously I wasn't able to get the list of charges, all of them. I mean, I know where to look, but
I mean,
obviously I tried to get the more recent thing that occurred. That was more pressing.
If we want the list of charges, we might be able to deal with this without necessarily ever dealing with the actual charges if we find out who's behind this whole thing.
So
it doesn't give us a great case to work on, or the lawyers to work with, if they don't have all the information.
What did Braxon say he had planned, apart from his Tai Chi exercise?
You were going to visit the gem merchant Bellis and then Lorellis.
Aha. Thank you.
Anyone else not remember what they were planning to do and want a reminder?
No, I knew I was going to do some investigation once I've done with my resting. Because I had a theory that someone's casting a spell on him before he gets to his house or within the house at some point, and we need to. Well, I would like to intercept that ideally, or see when that's happening.
I mean, we know that someone is using thought magic to communicate with him while he is at home. That's what my detect magic found out.
The thing is, I can't rule out the possibility of a more powerful version of a telepathy spell that does not require line of sight to cast the spell.
I mean, there very much might be something like that is for specifically mentalists or other, or whatever those mind magicians are called.
Oh yeah, actually, mentalist magic would be very likely to be thought for priests, right?
Certainly many of them, yeah.
I think I also got the wizard version of the information since I did cast both.
You would have
Wizard's
to be
version
a
of
specialty priest.
Detect Magic, you mean? From Detect Magic?
Yeah.
I don't recall one way or the other.
Your wizard one will be 100% because you're 10th level, right?
It's 95%.
95, there's always a slight chance of failure.
Yeah.
Question regarding that. Do you have to be a specialty of a wizard school to get that specialty of magic? Like
basically,
wild
yeah.
magic or...
Unless it's the type of magic that basically, yeah, because the eight schools apply to every single spell, regardless of what other spells elements they have. So yeah, if you're not a specialist, then you're not going to get one of those others because it's outside of your understanding, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're not a shadow mage, then nothing is shadow magic to you. If you're not an alchemist, nothing is alchemical magic to you. If you're not a fire elementalist, nothing is fire elemental magic to you.
Force or dimensional song.
Yeah.
Or a chronomancer and such.
Well, that might be something Solas or Lava could look up to see if we could...
I mean, I did say last time that I am going to the Mage Guild to consult about this.
Would you know if they would have mental specialists? They probably would have one or two, maybe.
I don't know if they have specialists, but I sure know that they have someone who knows more than me about it.
I also
even
have
if
an
they
idea.
are not specialists.
Yes,
I also have an idea that we might want to try, although it's a bit of a long shot.
What's that?
But I could possibly use Time Pool to find the moment he was charmed.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to know the moment he was charmed first to use Time Pool, because it's not like...
I think I only have to know the event existed.
But you don't know enough about what happened. Like, you'd have to know that a wizard cast a spell on him, or he met the gaze of a vampire, or a priest cast charm person or mammal kind of thing. Because he could have drunk a potion. Someone could have used a ring on him. I mean, there's all sorts of different things that it's a little bit too vague.
Mm-hmm.
So it says the caster must know the general nature of the event he wishes to view.
Right. So Like, you would need to know whether he was affected by a wizard casting a spell on him, someone using an item on him, someone using a natural power, and what kind of creature it would be in that case, too. So, just knowing that there's some magic on him isn't enough. Because you don't know the mode of it getting to him. So you can't narrow it down enough.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
problem
there
is
is a chance with my memory reads that if I start early enough in the day, or try and get the day's viewing events, I might get lucky and might get, someone re-upping the spell, as it were.
Has anyone else got a spell that can find out whether this guy decided to sue us recently or years ago?
It's safe to say that he decided to sue you upon his return
Gems.
and discovering that you had, sold all these gems and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll
just
be
wondering
day
if
by
this-
day by day
Are you
until I
hoping
get the
to
event.
Are you hoping to use the thought of when he decided to sue us as the
Yeah, that will
as
give
a trigger?
us.
I'm
Like
just
when
wondering.
he showed up and learned that we did the gym thing, and he decided, okay, I'm suing.
No, we would learn before that, though, wouldn't we?
I'm trying to see if there's a way for someone else to confirm the details that Finn needs.
Well, I could confirm the details if I get lucky, because at the moment it's just trying day by day until we get lucky. And we sold those gems like over a period of a week or something.
Yeah.
And judging by how much time I've got left, that's a pretty narrow chance of me even pulling that off.
Lafdul,
Yeah.
you have some access to thought magic.
Yeah, I got minor access. I got up to fair level spells.
If possible, how about you would ask around, since you have access to that kind of magic, you might know more if there's any clerics here who might be even more skilled in that kind of magic, if they could tell us something.
Priest of Labelish, I don't know his last name. Would be because I got full access to thought. Yeah.
Okay.
But they have terrible relations with us.
Sorry.
Yeah, but they might still be willing to talk with us, talk with you, or talk with someone in our company. While it is possible, most likely that it is wizard that is casting the mind magic, there's also the chance that it is clerical mind magic. And I don't have any access to that kind of magic.
No,
so
that's a good rate because the patron for that is one of chronological order or knowing of how things play out. So you would know exactly what happened at what point. It's just asking a favor and paying a debt for that favor.
I got a question for Ockar.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Your ability to detect evil intent in things, is that just people, or can you detect if someone has a magic item that's evil?
I can tell if an item is evil, but only if it's like really strongly evil, like with the sword and the book. It would have to be. It would have to be like very evil for me to be able to pick out. Oh, that item is evil and means to be evil.
Yeah, like cursed items wouldn't detect, for example.
Like if it's a cursed item, I normally can't tell it unless it's like extremely cursed, maybe.
No, if it's, it would have to be evil, and you detect the evil. So the curses are never detected.
Yeah, I can't detect a curse, but I could maybe detect if it's like an evil crafted item that's meant to be evil.
Yeah.
Item that
the
is
sword
poorly,
or the
poorly
book
for evil.
or the very evil book. Like the one I'm talking about is like the Elfbane sword. I could tell that was evil from a glance.
Yeah. Would it be worth making you invisible and silent so you could have a look and see if the guy's wearing anything that radiates evil?
I mean, tech magic would have showed that up, surely.
I mean, I could, but like he said, I imagine a detect magic would have been able to pick that up instead.
Okay.
Well, if it was magical nature.
If you had a magic item that was evil, yeah, detect magic would have revealed that he had an item.
The only way that would have been able to stop that, I imagine, is if he had something like an item that stops detection in general.
Like my
like
amulet.
an amulet, like Glatzel's amulet non-detection.
Yeah. Well, I also wonder, could there be something in his house, in his bedroom?
I did detect magic in there, and there was nothing.
Okay.
There was nothing magical, put it that way.
Okay.
I do think it's worth having one of us stake out at his house long term. Because I think someone is going in his... I think someone else is going in his room.
Wasn't that
and
what
casting
was doing?
the spell on him.
I thought Fiddle was doing that.
He was...
I've been staking out his business there.
Yeah. I think we need to do something more close to home.
Last time
I could change to watching his house. I don't see that there's anything special about watching the business other than who he deals with.
Well, you would wanted to follow an urchin if he sends for one today.
Yeah,
but at least it's not set in stone. You could always do that another day too. So
yeah, I did say last time that there's chance that whatever magic effect is on him might be re-upped with the packages that the urchins bring him.
Yeah, that might be it too.
Yeah, and the thing that I was concerned about only happens before he returns to home. So either he's something he's eating, or maybe one of the vendors is casting a spell on him.
Also, charm spells can last quite a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on how intelligent he is.
Yeah.
He's a successful merchant, so must be reasonably intelligent.
Yeah, but they would have to be genius level too, for example, that you would have to...
Weeks or days.
Yeah, you would have to be genius level for it to be days. That you check if the magic still is up.
Didn't somebody say they tried to get rid of the charm and it didn't go away?
Did, and I was dispelling some magic at 13th level and that did not work. So whatever it is higher than 13th. Or it can be dispelled.
Mm-hmm.
Ald's never going to throw an NPC that's lower level than us. So.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, it depends. Like a lower level NPC who's the big boss kind of thing of an adventure. If they're lower level than you, then they'd be substantially easier to defeat, unless they just have tons and tons of minions, kind of thing that you got to get through to wear you down. But, I mean, a powerful spellcaster or warrior could have a much weaker spellcaster as part of his entourage kind of thing, and then that might come in. But yeah, generally, you're dealing with more powerful magic as your foes, because that's the challenge. Your PCs, you punch above your weight, so to speak.
And yeah, as Old said, there might be, for example, multiple lower level fighters on the entourage.
Yeah.
So
I think you'll find that Braxon punches above his height.
He's not a dwarf yet.
I know he's not a dwarf yet. It's that belt. He's making him small.
He just dreams about being a dwarf.
It's cursed.
Well,
only worry about it if you start digging a hole.
Is there anything that you guys want to change up what you want to do, or do you want to get the day going, kind of thing?
Is before we all split up, is there any one of us that can cast a spell that sees through illusionary appearance somehow?
Yeah, I've got that memorized.
Right. Because somebody meeting him might not be what they look like.
Oh, I'm also borrowing Solas's rod, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Finn, you was casing out his joint. Have you made a list, or have you been able to make a list of who he sees on a regular basis?
Oh, I don't think Eld's given me any specifics, but.
And you haven't been watching him long enough to really get a feel for regulars kind of thing.
Right.
But I mean, you've seen enough that if it's relevant, I can tell you kind of thing.
Other than the urchins.
Is it the same urchins or different urchins?
It's been different urchins.
And could they be urchins or some sort of creatures pretending to be urchins?
Finn has not made an attempt to determine one way or the other. So far as he knows right now, they're normal urchins.
How about you, Lafdul? You had a look at his house, Lafdul. Does he have lots of servants?
No, it was just him and by his lonesome. Someone used magic on him remotely. Cast it before he got in the house or something. He looked like he was in a stupor, I think people described it as. So, whatever it is, it's being extracted from him forcefully and he's not aware of it because I had a blank state in the memory read. So he's not even aware of it himself.
So you couldn't see the creature. Would the
I
creature
could
be?
I would.
Would that be someone in a different place, or could it be someone like on the ethereal plane or one of these other planes that I don't know about?
I mean, it's possible someone could be in an ethereal plane and cast it into the prime. Actually, can he do that? Odd. Well, at least Solas would know this. He's got the spell etherealness.
Those kind of powers that to affect the other plane are not that common.
But it does exist.
It does exist, but not common. Like
Yeah.
normal magic wouldn't really affect the normal material plane from ethereal plane. Things like Basilisk Gaze would affect the ethereal plane from the material plane, but
Okay, well, if you get another chance at this, Lafdul, and he's talking to something that isn't there, see if you can follow his glance, and does he look like he's just staring off into space, or does he look like he's actually looking at someone in the room, moving around the room?
He was in a stupor, the way Solas described it, and the memory read that I read of his exact memories was it was blanked out. It was cut out from his memory. There is no memory of him having this conversation. He's not even aware of it. As if his memory was modified.
I'm thinking that's part of the spell.
Yeah, I think he just simply doesn't know that it's happening. It's just...
Would that be the same spell or a different spell?
No,
it would be the communication spell, I think. But I would have to really consult more experts on this.
It's a lovely spell, whatever spell that is. Probably not a spell I ever get access to.
I'm thinking that it might be a spell that is for specialists.
Well,
yeah, I think it's a mentalist wizard also.
Mm-hmm.
I got one more question before we split off and go our ways, unless other people have got questions. Is there any way you could repair his missing memories?
Heal spell would do that.
Yeah, high level spells like that potentially could return the memories.
Conveniently enough, none of the party members can cast that spell yet. We do have on scrolls, but
I was like, I doubt any of our clerics are powerful enough to cast that.
No,
Yeah,
but
not
perhaps this thing you were talking about, that I think it was Ockar's idea about bringing up in court that he's been charmed. Perhaps instead of asking for a wizard, we could also ask for a healer.
Yeah, but
to cast his heal spell on him.
It'd be
He'll
very
return-
hard to find a cleric
no,
that
there
is
is
powerful
on
enough to
Bral,
cast heal,
but
right?
no, there is because
There
Talon
are
is the highest.
there are some, but that kind of favor would even
expensive.
at court's request would be,
I believe.
Expensive.
yeah.
I believe my church has the best clerics.
It might still be prohibitively expensive.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You have the most
And,
experienced clerics, not the best.
That's the same thing, isn't it?
No. You can be experienced and not be very skilled.
Or you can be experienced, but still not very good cleric.
It's like at the moment we're like proteges. We're not experienced, but we've got a lot of I don't know. We're accelerating far faster than people of our skill normally would take to get to our point. It would take tens of years normally.
It's the advantage of adventuring. Disadvantage being that it's very dangerous.
Adventuring does increase life experience and understanding of your deity.
I believe that's because the gods have plans for us.
Was there anyone who wanted to leave before dawn? Finn, was that your plan, or were you going to kind of leave at dawn and just head to his...
I could mention something to Finn that might influence him.
Okay.
Could you see before he wakes up in the morning to see if he seems to be... I don't know how close you can get to his window, but you could see if he has that morning stupor as well. I mean, yeah, he had the night stupor, when someone was talking to him, but someone might be casting it as he leaves or something. Maybe see if anything happens before he leaves. Looking through his window or something.
I could do that. Take form of a small songbird or something and just sit on his stoop or on his windowsill.
Okay. So, Finn, you head out first doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a shame I need rest.
Alright, and Lafdul's going to continue to rest.
I'm in the Elven Forest somewhere, in a tree.
Right. Okay, so...
I would have made myself known to passerbys that I'm here around.
Finn. Well, I guess I should ask. Finn, did you want to meet up with anyone to report your progress at any point, or were you going to be, reporting back at the end of the day?
Probably end of the day, unless I get something really significant, then I'll seek someone out.
Okay. Alright. Then for now, we'll do you last so that anything that you learn doesn't affect anyone else's plans and stuff like that.
Okay.
Solas, you wanted to go visit the Mages Guild?
Yes.
Okay. So you head up here. And you head into the Mages Guild, and what are you going to be requesting?
I'm requesting if there's any experts on mental magics.
Okay, there's a few who have some skill in that area, an enchanter or two, no mentalists.
Okay.
But you can request their time if you want. What kind of questions are you looking to ask?
I would request their time and basically asking if there's any way to listen on these kinds of conversations, and if they know about such spells, I would explain them what kind of spell I'm meaning. That it would leave the target basically mentally vacant and have no memory of the conversation.
Okay, so one of the wizards is willing to discuss the matter with you, but he wants 100 gold pieces for his time.
Yeah, I will pay.
Okay. So he tells you that, so far as he knows, based on your description of what's going on, which is not like magic that he knows himself, but his initial gut instinct would be that if you have some sort of like active mind reading spell where you can actually read their thoughts or like be in their head at that time, something like a telepathy where you can actually read their mind as opposed to just broadcast thoughts into their mind. That would definitely work.
Okay.
So if you're like in their head at the time that it's happening, that would work. If their memories blanked out afterwards, a priest might be able to help with heal or restoration, but it really depends on exactly what's going on. There's no guarantee that those would work.
Yeah, because there's always the possibility that the spell makes it so that they just don't generate the memories for that time.
Yeah.
Would they know exactly how powerful this kind of mental magic would be?
No, without knowing the spell itself, but it is either you're talking about a their guess is that either you're talking about a type of creature that specifically knows like is a mental creature kind of thing, like it has tons of mental powers, like some lithids perhaps, or a very powerful wizard, potentially a specialist in that area.
Yeah.
But
well,
they're definitely talking pretty powerful.
Yeah, and I think with the fact that it's a detect magic detected it as a mental magic, it's not a natural psionic abilities. That wouldn't be detected with that.
Not everything that you guys think of as natural psionic abilities is actually psionic, though.
Yeah,
sometimes it is magic.
Some of those are magic.
And I mean, it could be something like an illithid who has learned magic, kind of thing. Like someone, like a creature that has natural mental abilities, and then takes their magic and melds them together or something like that.
Yeah. Would he know, and could he estimate any way to disrupt it other than casting Dispel Magic and hoping it works?
So Dispel Magic would always disrupt it if you cast it at the caster. So that would be a guaranteed thing. But at the recipient, if you could get a spell on them that creates a mental block, like a mental barrier or something like that, that prevents like mental contact, that would probably work.
I taught you my mind cloak spell. You can inquire about that.
Yeah, I would inquire about Mind Cloak.
That's pre-spell?
Pre-spell, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's outside of his area of expertise, so he could not tell you one way or the other whether that would work. Can that be cast on someone else?
Yeah. They get a saving throw if they're unwilling now.
Creature touched. Okay. Yeah, so he doesn't know whether that would work or not.
Another question I have is, would they have any idea if there's a way to track the caster?
There might be some spells that can do so, but none that he's aware of.
Okay.
Pretty powerful. That's like divination on divination.
Yeah, I mean, you'd definitely be talking about divination magic at that point.
I think this is most of what I wanted to ask about the spell. That's given plenty of thought how to go on.
Well, does anyone else have a question that like I'm fine with
Yeah.
you guys kind of crowdsourcing some of these ideas too. No one else has any ideas that they'd want to have asked?
Not really.
Yeah, because we would have talked about the questions. I would
Yeah.
ask as a group.
If like a simple protection from evil spell, if it's an evil caster, if the target, oh actually no, he might be already in spells, it's not gonna have an effect, but you can like block influences and stuff.
That could have an effect. It really depends on exactly what type of effect it is, but protection from evil definitely has some elements of preventing external control.
Okay, so yeah.
So he would definitely tell you
so-
that has a potential to work.
If
So
you ask,
if I
go on.
Go ahead, Braxon.
So if I were to cast
Or
10 feet
Solas.
radius version of the protection from evil and be near them, that might work.
I think you'd probably have to cast it on the person.
Okay.
They can't just voluntarily be enshrouded by your magic, I don't think. That isn't a companion.
It's more that the 10-foot radius thing, like part of it is that like you have a very specific goal in mind with this, which I think would alter the way that you're really casting the spell to an extent. Like you're trying to get a specific outcome rather than I just want to make enemies have a harder time hitting me kind of thing, and my friends.
Okay.
Here's a thought. Spell immunity, telepathy on target. Oh no, it's touch.
Spell immunity only works on a specific spell. Like if you did spell immunity
Yeah.
fireball, it would not affect delayed blast fireball.
And I think the caster has to have a face the effect.
Yeah, I mean it's my own spell, so I can cast it on someone else.
Yeah,
but you have to
would
have
have to have
experienced the spell.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I'm presuming it was telepathy. Obviously, it's something
I-
else, but
The mind cloak bit reminded me that I do have access to the impregnable mind, that is 5th level spell that is, I think, more
yeah.
powerful than the mind cloak.
Well, Mind Cloak just shuts you off or shuts people off from certain psionic disciplines.
Yeah, this works against charms, psionic attacks, and such.
Real fast, Braxon, you had a question? I want to get to you.
Yeah. They were saying that they would have asked if we have any questions earlier. Is there anything you can cast in his bedroom, on his clothes, in his bed, on his nightshirt, that would give him a bonus against being charmed?
It's not going to matter if he's already charmed.
All right, but assuming that it wears out periodically and they have to do stuff to him.
Those spells do not last very long.
Yeah,
Right.
you would basically have to make them as a magic item.
Fair enough.
I mean, in
And
theory, if I gave him my non-detection amulet, he would no longer be a target for whoever's casting the spell on him, because he would be non-detectable or non-targetable by that magic, I assume. If he can't physically see him.
that would only work if it's like a new initial casting. Like, I mean, if someone is already in telepathic contact with you, and then you put on the non-detection, it doesn't cut off telepathic contact, kind of thing.
Yeah. You should prevent one from starting now if that were
And
the
can
case.
can you really use the amulet of non-detection, for example, that if Lafdul were to reverse pickpocket it onto them?
They would notice after a while.
They would notice
I'm
pretty
wearing an
quick.
amulet.
They would notice pretty quick, yeah.
Unless I cast like a quest spell to make him wear it for a while. The likelihood of Lafdul giving up this amulet is very much nil.
But yeah, for Braxon's question, there might be some spells that work in that kind of effect, but the wizard doesn't know of anything offhand, especially without knowing the details of what magic you're dealing with, kind of thing.
Yeah, someone got Impervious Sanctity of Mind memorized. You know, that would work.
And for them to last long enough to protect him, they would have to be quite powerful spells or have permanency or something like that cast on.
There's no way you get a permanency on a sub-level spell.
Mm-hmm.
Way too good.
I would, if no one else have any questions, I would thank the wizard and then put a request on the Mage's Guild.
One question.
Go ahead, Braxon.
Is there anything we could maybe get put into his food that will make him harder to charm?
I think Finn's the only ones that might have access to that. I don't know if Fortifies do you give an aid effect or not.
The wizard again has no idea. There might be something, but not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in his knowledge. I mean, if any of you guys have an idea of something that you know within your wheelhouse that might work, you're more than welcome to bring it up.
A lead nightshirt.
It wouldn't work. It would have to be lead full body.
So
I think
real fast.
That sounds like a good way of getting yourself lead poisoning.
So Lafdul mentioned Finn potentially having something that you could put into his food. Finn, do you have anything that you can think of? Give him a bonus.
Now.
What was that Fortifying Stew spell? I can't remember what it does. I know it gives you hit points.
Yeah, I think that's really the only benefit of it. Let's see.
I don't know about your regular potions, though. Or druid stuff.
Looking through them now. I mean, I could make him crazy. That would make him difficult to charm.
That, I mean, and that could win you your case if he definitely appears crazy.
It could also
answer convenience.
It could also lead us to facing more charges if the people behind this dispel the craziness of him and can convince him that we were behind it.
It definitely could do that too. It is absolutely not without risks.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
I
if he's crazy,
I could make him appear dead for a few days.
I don't see that going well.
Yeah, we have to postpone. He is dead, and we need someone to raise him. Oh, what a shame.
Time to have a funeral, jettison him off into space.
That's awful.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens with most of the people who die on Bral.
The only other one I really have, I can make him lose all memories for basically a day.
Definitely
I don't
some
think that's going to
there.
help us at all.
No, would that erase a charm?
It most definitely would not eliminate a spell effect that is on you now.
Yeah, so it's more likely to erase the evidence that he's been charmed.
It would put a wrench in whoever's putting the effect into this person now. As in, they're like, huh? Why? What's going on? Why can't you report things? The person's obviously giving a report to whoever he's speaking to via the telepathy-like magic.
I mean, some of these definitely, could have the potential of bringing out whoever is hidden, kind of thing.
I also have a way that you can see invisible, astral, ethereal, or illusory objects as if they were real and fully visible. At the cost of becoming blind. At least until the ointment wears off. It doesn't actually give a duration.
That'll be supplemental of like Bart site, or that ruin the magic for the intended effect.
Might ruin the magic for the intended effect. I'd have to look at it. I mean, that's certainly something to like. If you think that there is like a creature entering his room ethereally, something to consider that you might want to, file it in the back of your mind for that potentiality.
The downside of that one is I have to get to a desert oasis to find the ingredients for it.
Oh,
a little bit of a problem.
Back to Rattle.
There are deserts. There are deserts in Bral.
There? Oh.
Oh yeah.
In Bral?
I mean, not Bral. Bral space.
Bral space.
Bral space.
Right. Okay.
Sorry.
I did cast the astral awareness when I was there to see the mental contact, and mental contact does provide perception to astral plane and ethereal plane.
That might be a fair argument that that's not what's going on then.
Mm-hmm.
I think when he has this episode, having a mind read up on him so I can at least, and being within a proximity to hear his murmuring, would help.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he might not be aware of it, but he still has to process it in order to speak it.
Yeah, I mean, the wizard basically did say that in his wizardly opinion, if you had some magic effect that allowed you to be in his head at the same time that this is happening, then you would also pick up on it. The wizard would probably also caution you that it could also affect you the same way. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're dealing with unknown magic. The wizard doesn't want to say too much, and he's like, this is a danger. This is something that could happen. I could not tell you one way or the other.
Oh no, I would have vetted to the party that this is something I'm going to do. Obviously, you're going to have to check on me the next day. But...
Also, even if the spell might not affect you, it might give the caster of that mental magic spell might very well notice the intrusion.
Yes, the wizard would let you know that too. That might be a possibility. You definitely want like if you had any way to be in someone else's head without them knowing, then that would be best, because that might also protect you against it. But again, dealing with unknown magic, you have no idea what the potential side effects are. Sorry, someone was about to ask a question too. Was that Lafdul?
I think I was, and I forgot very
Sorry.
quickly. That's fine.
I have a question. If you want to stall for time and try and remember.
No, I'm not stalling for time. I just want to make sure that everyone gets questions in. But yeah, if you've got a question, go ahead.
Is there any sort of creature that any of the spellcasters can summon that will possibly be able to see stuff that we can't see?
We have magic to do that though at the moment. Why would we need a creature?
Well, if you could summon an air element or invisible servant or whatever, for example, and have them stay in the guy's bedroom and just observe and then see
rather than us do it. Is there a specific reason why we can't do it?
Oh no, I'm not saying that we don't do it. I'm saying something like that could be there all the time and could see something coming in and putting stuff in his water or something.
Well, that's why I was thinking it would be a good idea to have someone stake out at his house rather than. But I mean, we gotta cover multiple things at the same time. And Finn's the only one that can do that incognito for long durations.
Okay.
Well, someone could be invisible and just stand there, because invisibility lasts like 24 hours. So.
Yeah.
Well, if it's a spell.
So, I mean, like, keep in mind that Braxon is asking these questions as, like, you know, he hasn't looked at the spell lists in any real detail, so it's just more of a, is there a spell that can do a thing kind of thing. So,
yeah.
All right, so
I'm trying to stay in character.
Well, but you also, like, you as a
Yeah.
player have literally not looked at the second edition spell lists.
No, I haven't. I haven't. Well, I've been
a
through the
while.
book several years ago. Yeah.
Right.
No, I'm wondering maybe Finn could recruit a mouse or something. If you keep an eye on this guy, I'll pay you some cheese.
I mean, that's a very possibility, you know. I mean, animals could be bribed quite easily.
Yeah, well, they might get bored.
Yeah, they're also
That's
animals.
true.
There's a limit to their intelligence and ability
Yeah.
to understand things. Solas, you wanted to you finished up with the wizard, and you wanted to put in a request at the Mages Guild. You said.
Yeah, I wanted to potentially contract out a high-level diviner, if there is one.
Define high level.
Or some level magic or higher.
What spell? Like, do you have a specific spell
more
in mind?
powerful diviner than me, since I would want to hire them to see if they could track down the spellcaster when they cast the mental magics.
If you don't know of a spell that can do that, it's hard to, like, hire someone. I'll put it this way: if you do not know of a specific spell that can do what you want, that you just don't have or have access to, you're not going to get any takers. You can definitely put in the request, but
That's better be a limited wish in that case.
Well, I'll put the request. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can look through the spell lists and try to figure that out. I will say that very high level magic is not very common at all.
Yeah.
And you know, and their time is especially valuable and stuff like that. And if the spell is very rare, it's right out. If it's rare or uncommon, it's not very likely. If it's a standard player's handbook spell, you know, yeah, there's probably someone who can do that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, something like a limited wish or a wish might do that, do what you want as well.
Well, I wish you could say he's the one contacting him.
I wish to know who blah blah blah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That would be basically it.
Yeah, it's a shame I kind of like asked a goofed up question about my when I got the divine intervention.
Not really.
I mean, I just played it in character, so that's what I would have asked.
And after visiting the Mage Guild, Solas would continue the PR campaign he's done.
Okay. All right. Ockar, you wanted to consult the lawyer about the charm?
Yeah.
Okay. So you head to the lawyer's office. It was down here. Okay. And I'll be keeping track of the time, so don't worry about that for now.
Okay.
So go ahead and ask what you wanted to ask.
So, if we had, like, suspicion that the opposing party might be under a charm effect, what would we need to do if we wanted to get that removed?
Well, first you'd need to request that, make a request of the court that it be determined whether the individual is under that effect. And whether they are or not, I can basically guarantee you that they will be opposed to that motion. So you need to argue effectively that this is a serious chance. Something that would convince the judge, not necessarily convince the other party.
Okay.
They, of course, would be within their right to request that you also be examined for some sort of charm. So keep that in mind. But yes, you would need to make an argument. You do not need. It is not based in law. It is just you'd need to make a very convincing argument. And if you have already determined that they are under a charm, you need to make sure that you do not use that reasoning, since that cannot be verified, and it is improper. Shall we
Because
say?
we already kind of determined that.
I suspected so when you brought up the question, but you need to make the argument as if you have not done so.
Okay. Well, I'll keep that in mind then, thank you.
Well, so, I mean, like, he would go into a little bit more about that, basically by saying, like, you know, try to figure out if things are out of character for him. Like, if he's acting out of character, obviously he's going to say that he's not acting out of character, but if you can get some witnesses to testify that he's acting out of character, that could go a long way to convince a magistrate.
Okay.
Didn't he say he seemed a bit more moody lately? Wasn't there... I can't remember if it's me that learned it or someone else. Someone... Was it Samara that told me? That he seemed like he was more moody lately, that he's been more aggressive or like grunty, or I don't know. He had a bad disposition. I'm sure we learned this.
But it could, I mean, keep in mind that that could also just be because, you know, he just had a big...
ongoing events.
Yeah, I mean, he just had a big business deal fall through kind of thing, so... Like, there's that element, too, of, like, you know, you would need to convince the magistrate that what's going on is special beyond just the fact that he's angry that he had a business deal fall through, and he blames you for it, and it's affecting his day-to-day life.
Right. So we'd have to get more specific about it.
Let's just hope it's not something like programmed amnesia cast on him. It's like a Nightflower wizard spell.
That would be very bad.
So the lawyer, you know, is open to, like, discussing this with you at any time about crafting the argument and stuff like that. But it is definitely something that would need to be developed, is the argument kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing we're going to have to work on then. I guess I'll keep that in mind as something to bring up to him when I have some thoughts of how I'm going to take the argument.
All right.
You're also studying law, so it'd be very topical for you to stay there and just learn what you can.
Yeah.
Certainly for the hour. And I mean, like, I'm going to assume that there's other questions that you'd have that are, you know, mundane,
Yeah,
normal,
I'll probably
that
stay
kind of
for
thing.
the hour and, like, ask him questions and get a good idea of things, since I'm trying to learn this stuff too.
Okay. But yeah, so the specific argument that you would need would be to convince the magistrate, and you can present evidence, you can present testimony, things like that, but it has to be things that the court can verify. So the fact that you already cast the spell, you can't come in and be like, I cast a spell and it shows him having a charm, ergo we want to request the court do this, because that's, like, you could just lie and say that.
And a skillful lawyer for the opposition might claim that we were the ones that cast a charm.
Exactly.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just keep all that in mind as I think it over.
I'm extrapolating here, but you'd probably phrase this question to the lawyer, I suppose.
Yeah, and I'm fine with if again.
What if the guards were to happen upon the circumstance as it happens?
What, him being charmed?
Not him in a stupor. What happens if the guards just happen to notice it or witness it? Because somehow they were just there. It would be an innocent third party, but we would have played it into that way, I suppose.
It would very much depend on exactly what's going on and what their reason for being there is. Like, so far, the only time that you've seen this happen to him, he's been in his, at home kind of thing. So, like, what reason would the guards be for entering his home kind of thing?
It was a break-in. It just so happened to happen at the same time. And if only there was someone to make there, happened to be a break-in.
I'm not bringing up that.
You not specifically, but,
I'm not bringing up the break-in idea.
Yeah, no, that seems very reasonable for Ockar to not bring up.
It's like circumstances that would cause the guards to just be in the area.
But they would have to be in his room. Like, he's got a second-floor apartment, so they wouldn't be looking into his window. And even if they did, like, if he was on the ground floor and someone looks into his window during this event, it's none of their business.
Mm-hmm. That's the whole freaking thought is the kind of idea that's just asking to get me arrested if I bring it up.
Well, it wouldn't get you arrested with the lawyer, but he would definitely be like, don't bring the guards in.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
So, yeah, and it makes perfect sense that is not something that Ockar would bring up as a paladin kind of thing.
Yeah. That'd be I'd give Lafdul an odd look and then just not do it.
Yeah. I mean, like, that doesn't necessarily mean that Lafdul would have to fake a break-in. He could just go report it and the guards would come, but that in and of itself would still be a non-lawful good act.
Yeah.
That would definitely be a chaotic act.
No.
Because you're lying to the guards about a crime that is not actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
But if anyone else has a question for that Ockar could ask the lawyer, I'm perfectly fine with that. Right now, this is a team effort type stuff, so if no one else has anything, that's perfectly fine too.
Can the lawyer find out if he's brought any legal actions against anyone else?
He can tell you that as a cursory, like, normal thing that they've looked into what other public legal actions he's had in the past, and it's all been just pretty standard contract related stuff. So and so is not following the contract precisely. I need a judgment here, or blah blah blah, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Pretty standard stuff. Pretty standard stuff that rarely gets to the end. It's usually, the lawsuit is basically a threat to force people to negotiate, and then they negotiate and everything goes away, kind of thing. And it never actually goes to the magistrate.
So this is the exception in his legal past.
It is certainly unusual, but like, in terms of what kind of lawsuits he's brought, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not ordinary. Like, the lawyer still sees this as an ordinary lawsuit.
Yeah.
It's just not the sort of thing that the
I was just wondering if his pattern had been like 5 lawsuits in the last year and 1 loot one lawsuit per 10 years before that.
No. But to the lawyer's point of view, like, he doesn't see anything unusual about this because just because he's never brought a lawsuit like this, in the lawyer's mind, just means that he's never been in this situation before.
Yeah.
Here's a
Perfectly normal
situation.
situation, just not one that he's been in before. Yes,
It's
Lafdul.
not necessarily related to what Marcus dealing with now. It's just a spell query. What if I had unceasing vigilance of the Holy Sentinel cast on myself while polymorphed? One, could I have polymorph and still remain within the circle, still get the benefits? But it also says at the bottom that I'd be immune to sleep or charm spells. I'm wondering if like mental domination spells would fall into that category. Whatever this person's affected by, would I?
Oftentimes, these things affect new spells, as opposed to already existing ones. Like, you need something that is going to...
I'm an elf as well.
I'm sorry?
I forgot that I'm an elf, that I have high resistance against charm magic.
Yeah.
Was it 70 or 90?
90. Yeah. So, basically, like, if something gives you immunity to charm, in that kind of way, usually that is
anything to force you to abandon your vigilance, I guess.
Right, but and that might prevent a specific, like, I'd have to go look at the spell itself, but it might prevent someone from, a charm that's already in effect from getting you to leave. Like, it might prevent that specific effect, but it wouldn't necessarily prevent an already existing charm that was already cast on you from working in a way of like, hey, here, just drink this. I brought you some fresh water, and it's drugged, but you have no way of knowing that it's drugged, kind of thing. I'd have to go back and look at the spell, but that's my gut offhand. But since Ockar's at the lawyer, anyone else have any questions, especially related to arguing about trying to get a detect charm spell cast on the guy?
No.
Okay.
No, we'd have to just make the case that, why didn't you bring this up years ago? Who's to say there's a third party at play here forcing your hand? Can we verify this, I mean, that's an argument. Maybe not an overly strong one, but it is an argument.
I guess I'd ask the lawyer that.
You could ask if the lawyer knows of any other cases where a similar argument was made to get spells cast on people.
Not one that comes to mind in his mind right now. As to the argument that was just proposed, the lawyer would say that would not be a particularly strong argument, because the response to that would be that this is just the straw that broke the camel's back, kind of thing.
Fair enough.
And if he were a magistrate, because, like, needing to get a spellcaster in and casting that takes time, so a magistrate would generally look at this as a delaying tactic, adding burden. And whoever is making the request does have to pay for the spell.
Well, that part's not a problem.
So you see the price of the spells.
If it keeps us from going bankrupt, I don't see it as a problem.
That's true. But again, it also, wouldn't prevent one of you from casting a charm on him. Thus, he's detected as being charmed, and et cetera, et cetera. It's like, there's also an element of what does it prove, because it could also be completely unrelated. Could have been some other merchant cast a charm on him to get a better deal out of him, and it has nothing to do with your case. So you'd also have to argue that it has to do with your case as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that would be an issue.
Yeah.
Okay, well, can you guys think of anything else I should ask?
I suppose if you're talking about the case and you think something's been done to him, then the thing where it's related to us would be that we've done nothing to him, and he has no reason to have it in for us. Well, we have done something to him, but he has no natural reason to have it in for us. And somebody is manipulating him to force him to waste his money suing us.
It's definitely within his circle of influence that the person's using him as a means to us.
Yeah.
So we need to find out who that third party is. So someone in his contacts somehow, somewhere is influencing him.
Yeah, but that's the sort of thing we've got to convince the judge that somebody is trying to get him to waste his money, taking us on.
I think we have I think we have best chance to convince the judge about that if we can actually find out who the person or organization behind is. Yeah, and deal with them.
Wow, not kill them, but bring them in.
That's why I said deal with them.
Yeah. Deal with them means multiple things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Braxon, you wanted to head over to Bellis.
Yeah.
All right. So you make your way to Bellis's shop.
Okay.
Trying
to remember, did Braxton have an appointment, or was this a pop in?
No, you're just visiting him.
Yeah, you're just visiting him. You did not let him know in advance that you were coming.
Fair enough.
I do not remember if I ever.
He makes occasional trips to the Forgotten Realms for some reason, because we were using him to sell gems to, and you gave us an excuse that, you can't always use him.
Right. But, I'm trying to remember if I had a location. I don't think I have anything written, marked down on the map for where his shop is.
Okay.
So if there was a location that I gave you, I don't know.
If anyone's watching that knows that all got it wrong,
it was somewhere down in the Low City, I think. I mean,
we had to run through some streets when we were going from victim to victim to victim. He was the third victim. I cast Cure Light Wounds on and I healed him.
Yeah, but I think that was down in the lower market, the lesser market.
Yeah, he was down this sort of way in one of the back streets.
I think the alley that you ended up going into, where you got into the underground, was here.
Yeah.
But I don't remember where Bellis' shop was. If I
there was an alleyway where there was a creature on the wall, and it was trying to murder him.
Yeah, but I don't think that was. I don't think that was where his shop was. But his shop was definitely down in this area.
Yeah,
it's somewhere around where Higamus's shop is and the lesser market and this general area.
Okay.
Like this general area down here somewhere. So
used to say he hasn't got a new shop. He's been doing well.
That's possible. I may look it up in between sessions to see if I can figure it out.
Braxton would also have told the others that he's going and asked if any of them had any questions. But I guess we're doing my questions first.
To be honest, I can't remember what we were asking him.
He's a gem cutter, but one thing I realised is if he's a gem cutter, he might also know of the guy that's bringing the lawsuit against us and know what his normal behaviour is like. Like how often he sells gems and stuff.
Well, no, he was also one of the people that we helped. So, character witness a long time ago.
Oh, I know. That's why Braxton's going to him, because he's trying to get people to give witnesses for us in trial.
All right, so you head to Bellis' shop. and enter it.
Yeah.
And he looks up, and it takes him a moment to recognize you, Braxon, because I think Lafdul's probably done the selling of the gems to him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Ah, yes, Braxon. It's been a while. Welcome into my shop. Are you in the market for some gems?"
Braxton will have a look around, make sure he's got no customers first. And assuming he hasn't,
He does not.
he'll say, well, I was actually going to ask you for a favor, if you're willing.
I won't know until you tell me what the favor is.
There is somebody who's decided to claim that we're bad people, trying to put them out of business. And I was wondering if we could count on you for a character witness for us helping to stop that murdering creature.
That was quite a while ago. I'm not sure that I remember many details, and I am awfully busy. What is this about this lawsuit?
There's somebody who we have no ill will against, and Braxton will say the name. And
Bradel
yeah, Bradel and suddenly he's decided that he thinks we're trying to put him out of business, and we literally never knew the guy existed before.
Oh, yes, I have dealt with him very infrequently, but he did come in not too long ago looking to sell some gems, but as you can see, my stock is full, in large part because of you.
Yeah. He seems to think that we deliberately bought gems to sell to you so that he couldn't sell his gems.
He did get quite angry when I informed him that I was in no position to purchase more. And I did mention that I had recently bought from the company The Broken Sword.
Right. So the thing I'm wondering is whether you would either be able to come to our trial and let the judge know what you think of our character. And you don't have to remember the exact events, but just tell what happened as best you know, and how you think we've treated you since then, and whether you think we're good or bad people. Or if you're unable to do that, whether you will be able to make some sort of sworn statement to our lawyer.
Unfortunately, I am quite busy in angering Faldric at this time when he has gems that I may wish to purchase in the future, especially as he gets more desperate and I sell off some of my current stock and have capacity to get more. I don't know that I could
chaotic neutral.
do that.
Okay, I see your position.
To be.
I mean, I do appreciate what you did for me, and I would certainly wish to help if I could, but you have to understand my position here.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing. What we think that he's acting out of character when he's going after us. We don't think that's what he would normally do. Have you noticed anything unusual about him lately, apart from him getting annoyed at not being able to sell you gems?
Oh, I don't know him very well at all. He mentioned to me some months back before his excursion that brought back this stock of gems that he might be getting something. And I informed him that I might be interested in the what he brings back, but other than some dealings 3-4 years ago maybe now, I can't think that I've had too much contact with him. He deals in a variety of goods, and I only deal in gems.
Yeah. Do you know where he went on his excursion by any chance?
Oh, no, I do not know that.
Right.
I don't believe it was out of the sphere, though.
Right.
But I could be wrong. I just got the impression
Does
that
he-
it was not going to be a long trip.
Do you know if he has his own ship or if he hires people?
He generally works on commissioning ships to pick up goods that he has prearranged purchase for. So no, he does not have a ship of his own, to my knowledge.
But he would have gone out with the ship to get these gems.
It sounded like he was going to do that, which probably indicates that he wanted extra security on the purchase. Being gems and all. Obviously, if it was just bringing in lumber or wool, he wouldn't need such, personal security on it.
Yeah. Have you ever had the need to do that sort of thing in the past? Do you know what ship captains provide that sort of service?
Oh, there's many. Some of them are just here for a short time before moving on, and others are around for quite a while. I myself hire passage on whoever has a good reputation who's going into the spheres that I need to.
Can you remember the dates when he said he was going and coming back?
I can, roughly, he'll give you the rough dates.
Yeah, okay, right. Braxon will thank him very much and say, "Yeah, I understand the position you're in. But in case things change, Braxon will give him details of the lawyer."
Okay. So you, Braxon, unless you think otherwise, you probably have not been into Bellus's shop since
No.
That one adventure.
Yeah.
And
No, we were going there quite a few times because we had to sell gems before our gem came.
But did Braxon go?
I think Braxon carried a box of stuff once or twice.
I mean, either way, like it's been 2 years since you were here at all. Anyway,
I don't think Braxon would have done it recently.
So it might be like 3-4 years since you've been in the shop, kind of thing, right?
Actually, I think the last time Braxon was carrying gems was we went somewhere like a moon to an illegal port.
Yeah, that was
right. But I'm talking about Bellis.
I don't know that Braxton's done that on Bral. You might have used people from the ship. Braxton might have been there, but I can't remember him being in the shop.
Okay. I mean, either way, it's been 2 years since you've even been on Brawl, and probably another year or two since you last went into his shop. It is substantially remodeled since the last time you saw it.
Okay. So he's doing
Is he doing well for himself, or?
I mean, it's a remodel, so it looks, relatively new and fresh in comparison.
Braxton, I'll ask how things are going with him.
Oh, things are going quite excellent.
That's good.
I'm quite happy with how things are going.
Yeah, it's good to hear. It's nice when people we help out are doing okay.
Indeed. I am still much grateful for your assistance all those years back. I'm sorry that I cannot do more for you now, but you have to understand my position here.
Yeah, I do. If you ever have need of our services, you know where our office is, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Right. Braxton's going to have while making a bit small talk, he's going to have a quick look round and he'll be admiring if there's wooden finishings and stuff. He'll be admiring the quality about it and saying some stuff about that, like if there's shelves or cabinets or whatever. But he'll be looking for anything that seems out of place.
What do you mean by out of place?
Like he's wondering if anyone's got to this guy. He doesn't think they have, but he's just wondering, is there anything unusual here for a jeweler shop?
Nothing strikes you as unusual.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think there would be, but I just was wondering if he would get a vibe. Okay, well, Braxon's going to thank him again for his time and wish him all the best with his business.
Thank you very much. I wish you well with your lawsuit as well.
Thank you very much. Hopefully, we'll have it all sorted out and things will be smoothly for you and him, and everything will go well for everyone. Right. So Braxton's going to leave, and I guess he's going to the Elven Forest now to look for
Lorellis.
Lorellis. Hopefully, not to have an apple drops on his head by Lafdul.
I mean, Lafdul's in a tree somewhere in the Elven Forest, actually. I might see. I probably would be positioned where I'd probably guess where Braxon might be walking in from.
It's a pretty dense forest. It's a pretty dense forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Braxon would actually be meeting Lorellis in this building here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Because that is the that's the Imperial Navy office kind of thing.
Right.
It leads to the underground.
Oh yeah. I never noticed that office before.
I mean, it's just an unmarked building, but I've decided that being right there on the
No.
You know, I never asked, but considering it's called the Imperial Elven Navy, does that mean that there's an elf emperor?
No. It's a poor translation of the Elven term.
This is debate across the Spelljammer community.
The way that I would describe the Elven Imperial Navy and the structure is that they function a bit like a confederacy. All of the Elven nations are independent, and the Elven Imperial Navy acts as an overarching military organization that protects them from threats from space.
Okay.
So like the space mafia.
No.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
So it's like a space Elven Union.
Kind of. But all of the states, quote unquote, of the Evermeet would be a state of it. They're completely autonomous.
And not every state might even know all of the other states.
No, and some of them don't even want anything to do with the Elven Imperial Navy.
So a bit like the League of Nations or the United Nations.
Sort of, except there isn't voting. The Elven Imperial Navy is itself autonomous as well, but they act as a protection force for Elven interests in space. And they've basically taken it upon themselves to do that, in ages long past.
Yeah.
But there's not even any elves that are old enough to remember.
Right.
Okay. So I guess Braxon will go into the office without any apples landing on his head.
No.
And go up to the desk and see if Lorellis is around.
Ah, yes. You wish to speak to Lorellis. Let me take you to him.
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
You are taken to a small meeting room. Lorellis is sitting in a comfortable chair, reading a book as you enter. And he looks up as you walk in, and he says, "Ah, you're right on time. Please have a seat. What can I do for you? I remember your aid years ago. It was greatly appreciated."
Yeah, Braxon, to say thank you for taking the time to see me. I appreciate you've got things to do. I was wondering if you could help us. There is somebody on Bral who we think may have been influenced against us, who has decided to sue us and say that they think we're bad people who are trying to put him out of business. And we never really heard of him before this happened. We were hoping you would be a character witness to testify as to the events when we dealt with the people that were trying to cause harm to you, and what you think of our character and how your dealings with us have been.
Oh, absolutely. I'd be more than happy to testify.
Thank you.
What,
That would be very helpful.
What can you tell me about this individual who's suing you?
Well, like I said, we'd never heard of him before. His name's Bral Falderic, and he's
I've never heard of him myself.
Yeah, he does trading, and we've never really run into him. There seems to be a couple of coincidences where he's been where we've been when something's happened. But we haven't gone looking for him. It's as if he's been put in our way. So something's happened, but we think somebody's sort of played with his mind to make him angry at us. And he's saying that because we came back here after being away for a while, Braxon will briefly go into that story about the sphere where we helped all those elves and stuff. Because we were away and we were doing this and doing that, he'll quickly gloss over a few things, but like name drop those sort of things. Because we came back and we had not paid the crew for ages and we'd picked up some gemstones, we had to sell gemstones, and he thinks we intentionally did that to try and put him out of business when we didn't know who he is.
Just as a quick aside, you had been paying the crew, but they needed a split from the treasure haul kind of thing. So
sorry, Well, Braxton would say that.
Yeah, Braxton definitely would have. Oh, that is quite a story. That is very strange. You've never encountered him before, or don't know of him. Obviously, you have accidentally encountered him before.
Yeah, we've not knowingly encountered him. So I feel that a bad person or a bad creature, similar to that creature that was there, is up to no good, and is trying to use him to distract us from stuff. But we also have to defend ourselves until we can figure that out. Now, if there was a way we could figure out what this thing was and get rid of it, then maybe he would stop being angry at us. I don't know. But in the meantime, we need to defend ourselves in the court case as well.
Well, if you need me to testify, I can certainly take a short leave from my duties with the Imperial Navy to do so. Do you have a barrister already who?
Yeah, we do. We do. And yeah, Braxon will give him the details of Javlast Esquire. Was it Javlast Esquire? That's
Javlast, yeah.
Yeah. So he'll give him the details of him and
yes, right down the street.
Yeah. And I guess Braxon might pop in there himself and tell them rather than pay for an urchin.
You can just like pop in and let them know that he'll be, coming by to like give his description of events.
Yeah.
Laurellis does say, so you suspect he's under a similar influence that I was?
I think so. Maybe not the same thing.
Well, but a similar type of.
Yeah. We haven't been able to work out exactly what's going on, but it was the same with the case with you. We were hunting around trying to figure out what was happening, I'm not a magical person myself, as you are, and the way I operate is I need to work out who's bad so I can punch them on the nose. And from my point of view, there's someone that needs a punch on the nose, but I don't know who it is yet.
Well, if you are able to provide the court with some evidence of that, if he is in fact under influence in that way, then having me testify to a similar experience might prove quite effective.
Yeah, that's something. That's something I hadn't thought of. I mean, it could well be a similar creature. It might not be the same though. It might be something different.
No, but something was controlling my actions, and if something is controlling his actions, then I could certainly describe what it was like to be under that influence. And how you freed me from it.
Yeah, if you would be prepared to testify for that, if it's not too
would.
embarrassing, that would be very useful. And if there is somebody on Bral that is attempting to control people to do bad things, as someone who's like a citizen of Bral, I want them off Bral. Who knows what else they could be doing? I mean, I don't see why they would be wanting to do this to get this guy to come after us. Apart from one thing, I have this vague feeling that there is something the company in a broken sword needs to do, and this lawsuit is keeping us busy. There seems to be something bad going on around Bral. I just have bad vibes. There's people talking about increased piracy and stuff. Somebody is up to no good. I'm sure of it.
That could be the case. Well, I will speak with your solicitor and let them know what I know and discuss the events. Yes.
This might be something you might bring up.
Yeah.
There was a whole discussion about, this thought magic being involved, and we're all trying to go down our own different routes. But we would have had an involved discussion between the party members. And obviously, Solas saying that he was going to go to the Tower
Mage's
of
Guild.
Mage Guild.
Yeah.
It might be on your possibility to ask this wizard if, because he is a wizard, if he knows of any mentalist mages in the Imperial Navy.
He does not.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's worth a shot.
Yeah. Braxon would also say, I have colleagues that are able to help people remember things from the past or see things. If they think it would be of use to try to see what happened to you, would that be something you'd be willing to do?
Oh no, I remember what happened.
Okay.
It is unpleasant, but I do remember it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. Unless Braxon got told to give him any more questions.
I think so.
Nope, I don't think so. Doesn't sound like anyone has anything else.
Nope.
Okay. So, Finn, you were going to watch Browdle leave his home and then follow him to work and stuff. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I was going to observe him through the window as he woke up.
Right, that's right. Okay, so you get there early, having taken the form of a songbird, and you watch him get up and eat breakfast. You don't notice anything unusual. Is a pretty simple breakfast of some day-old bread and with some butter on it and some water. and a little bit of looks like like dried meat kind of thing. Just kind of a simple breakfast. And you don't notice anything unusual in his morning routine.
Okay.
So he leaves and makes his way directly to his warehouse. Has a brief conversation with one of his warehouse guards out front. You pick up just enough to like, how's it going? Any incidents overnight? That kind of thing. Letting him know about what might be going on during the day that the guard needs to be aware of. Nothing that jumps out at you as particularly interesting.
Okay.
And you take up a position to keep a watch. Is there anything that you want to do in particular while you're watching?
I was watching to see if he hires another urchin today.
Right. But I mean, besides that, like hopping around, watching anything else going on around the warehouse, that kind of thing.
Yeah, keep an eye on kind of the general area.
Okay. Just want to see if there was anything specific that you were looking out for. So around mid-morning, maybe an hour before you would kind of expect most people to be getting lunch. There's been some customers in and out. No one who stands out as something special. Like, you're taking mental note of them, keeping track of who's coming and going, and were they here before? No, they weren't, or yes, they were. That kind of thing. Just nothing you're putting together as anything suspicious, but you're keeping note of it.
Yep.
But at one point, a little kid does head in to the back door, knocks on the back door, and you are pretty sure that this is an urchin that you saw before.
Okay.
So he's in there for a few minutes, and then leaves. And you wanted to follow the urchin?
Yeah, is he carrying one of the packages?
This time he's not carrying a package.
I'll follow him anyway.
Okay. And you follow him. He takes an unusual route to wherever he's going because there's a lot of turns, but he's not stopping off anywhere along the way. Eventually, you do get to the lesser market, all the way down here. Give me a wisdom check, please, because it is crowded. See if you can follow him.
Yeah, that seems like a thief. He's losing people.
Okay. You do lose him a couple times, but are able to catch sight of him again. And he does make his way out of the lesser market. And you follow him up Hammer Street here. And then he turns down and heads to a building that you are not familiar with. But as you are approaching this building, you're flying along. This kid is approaching the building. You do see Braxon leave and walk away.
Oh.
And then the little kid goes in.
Interesting.
It is a gem shop.
Oh.
Really? Yeah, I mean, this could be coincidental, though, so...
I think Braxton's just blabbed our plan to the evil guy.
Oh, that would be funny. Because Spellis is the guy we've known since, like, the start.
And I think this is a good time to take our break.
Come on, not really. Not him. I liked him.
I mean, this could always be a red herring.
could always
It
be a
could
red
be,
herring.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
I like that little girl on the asteroid, and then she turned out to be a demon.
I know who put up Growler Falderic to all this. It's red herring.
So
those who remember that cartoon will get that reference.
So
And
we will be. Go ahead.
I was going to say we all liked Jewel.
No.
Few of us didn't.
I liked Jewel. So we will be back in about 10 minutes. A good time to stretch your legs, get something to drink, and we will be back very shortly. And we'll see what the party thinks of this turn of events. So, see you shortly, everyone.
See you
See
on
you
the other
then.
side.